Hi everyone, I am Prachi Agarwal. Welcome to our channel Learn Competitive Programming with CodeChef. If you are interested in competitive programming and want to learn and master data structures and algorithms, then this is a one-stop destination for you. Every week we'll post CodeChef problem explanations, conceptual videos on various programming paradigms, and also conduct live problem-solving sessions. But before we actually get started, here's a reminder to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet already. Great. Now that you have subscribed, let's get started. Welcome back to the course Introduction to Programming. In the previous video, we discussed about arithmetic operators and the basics of flowchart. We saw that how we can draw a flowchart while using arithmetic operators and some very simple scenarios. But now that we have understood how we can draw a flowchart while we are using arithmetic operators and expressions, simple mathematical expressions. Now let us discuss about another scenario. Now this another scenario is that while solving a question, you may encounter a certain scenario where you have certain conditions based on which you have to decide what will be your answer. Means your answer will not be fixed. Like in the previous cases, we were just solving an expression and we knew that this will be our answer. It was fixed. But in this case, based on certain factors, you will decide what will be your answer. Say, take a real life example that you wish to go to the market, but it is raining heavily. So now you have to decide that whether you will be going out or not. And you also know this is the condition that you can only go to the market before 6 p.m. So you put a condition that if the rain stops by 6 p.m., then you will go to the market. Otherwise, you will not go to the market. So you see that here the answers were not fixed. Rather, based on the timing, we had to decide that whether you will be going to the market or you will not be going to the market. So now we will learn about these kinds of scenarios where we have to make decisions. To understand this, we will take a particular example, and that example is that you are given a number n and you have to find out whether this number is odd or even. Now to find out whether the number is odd or even, there is a very simple calculation that we can make. We can find out that if the number is divisible by 2, what? Divisible by 2, then it is an even number. Otherwise, it is an odd number if it is not divisible by 2. Now, how do we check divisibility? This we have already seen in the arithmetic operators that to check the divisibility, we can use the modulus operator. What this modulus operator does is it finds the remainder of the division. So, if we divide n by 2, then this modulus operator will find the remainder of this particular expression. So, n modulus 2 will give us the remainder. Now, if n divided by 2 gives us the remainder as 0, that means it is divisible by 2, and in that case the number will be an even number. But if the remainder is 1, that means that n is not divisible by 2, and in that case it will be an odd number. So what do we have to exactly do here? We have to check that whether n modulus 2 is equal to 0 or not. If it is equal to 0, then we will say that it is an even number. Otherwise, we will say that it is an odd number. Now, to check this, to check whether these two entities, this entity and this entity, they are equal or not, you might think that we will use equal to. Because you are very used to equal to. It is used for assignment. But here, are we doing assignment? We are not assigning the value 0 to n modulus 2. No, we have to check these two values. So in programming, we have a different operator for that. We use the equality or equal to operator to check two values, or you can say to compare two values. Now here, we are comparing the left hand side value with the right hand side value. We are checking that whether n modulus 2 will be equal to 0 or not. And for that, we use this equal to or equality operator. Now what will be the answer of this comparison that we have made? That is n modulus 2 equal 0. So there can just be two possibilities, that either n modulus 2 will be equal to 0, that means it will be an even number, and the second option is that it will not be an even number. In that case, n modulus 2 will not be equal to 0. So you see that there are just two values that are possible. The first value is that this comparison will result in a value that is true. So it will be an even number. And the second option is that this comparison will result in false, which means that it will not be an even number, and if it is not an even number, then it will be an odd number. So when we use this equality operator, which is also known as a comparison operator, it is a type of comparison operator. Just like we had arithmetic operators, similarly we have comparison operators, and equality operator is a type of comparison operator. So when we use these kinds of operators, then it always forms a boolean expression. A boolean expression is one which always results in either of the two values, that is, it results in either true or false. So you can see here that this expression does the same. It can only have two values, either it will be true or it will be false, and by getting these two values we will also come to know our answer, that whether this number that we took as input is even or odd. And here once again I would like to emphasize on the fact that there is a vast difference between the assignment operator and the equality operator. The assignment operator is used for storage purposes, that is, whatever variable you take on the left hand side, the right hand side value will be stored in that variable. So whatever value or the expression, whatever expression value you have here, the output will be stored in this particular variable, and then you can use this variable in order to get access to that value. That is the use of assignment operator, whereas the equal to or equality operator is completely different. It is used for comparison purposes. It compares the left hand side value to the right hand side value, and it ensures that these two values are identical or they are not identical, and that is why we get the result as either true or false. So this is the difference between assignment and the equal to operator. So please do not get confused here. Now that we have seen this equality operator, it is a type of comparison operator, as I already told you. So this is not just one kind of comparison operator, there are others as well. So let us see what are the other comparison operators. Now first of all, these comparison operators are also known as relational operators, and each of these operators are the same as the equal to operator, that is, it forms a boolean expression and results in a true or false after comparison of the left hand side value with the right hand side value. Now it is very easy to understand these operators because the name suggests the functions of the operators. Like the first operator is greater than operator. It is used to check whether the left hand side value is greater than right hand side value or not. Suppose for example we take 7 greater than 5, which will result in true because the left hand side value is greater than the right hand side value. Whereas if we take 3 greater than 5, then it will result in false because the left hand side value is less than the right hand side value. Similarly, we have less than operator, which is exactly similar to the greater than operator, just the difference is that it is used to check whether the left hand side value is less than the right hand side value. So for example, 3 less than 5 will result in true, and if we do vice versa, 5 less than 3, then it will result in false. Greater than or equal to, so there are two functions of greater than and equal to operator. The first function is that it will check whether the left hand side value is greater than the right hand side value. Also it will check whether the left hand side value is equal to the right hand side value. Still it will result in true. So for example, you can say 5 greater than equal to 5. This operator will result in true because it is greater than or equal to operator. Similarly, we have less than or equal to operator. So if we check 3 less than equal to 3, then it will result in true. Similarly, if we check 3 less than equal to 2, then it will result in false because left hand side value is greater than the right hand side value. And if we check 2 less than equal to 3, then it will result in true because left hand side value is less than the right hand side value. So you see how these two operators work. They have more than one function. Now we have equal to operator, which we have already discussed. It is used to check whether the left hand side value and the right hand side values are identical or not. And lastly, we have not equal to operator. The not equal to operator checks that the left hand side value is not equal to the right hand side value or not identical. So if it is not identical, then in that case it will result in true, otherwise it will result in false. Like you can check whether 3 is not equal to 4. So it will result true. But if it is like 3 not equal to 3, then it will result in false. So this is how all of these operators work. Now I have taken constants here just to make it simple, but you can also take expressions which have arithmetic operators that we have discussed, or you can also use relational operators in expressions and take these expressions as the left hand side value and the right hand side value and one comparison operator in between. So this can also be done, and we will see that in the further slides. But now that we have discussed all these relational operators, there is also a precedence that has to be followed when we are using these operators. Just like we had in the arithmetic operators, similarly we have that precedence in relational operators as well. So let us discuss that. 4 relational operators have a higher precedence, that is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. They have the same precedence. If they are present together in an expression, then all of them will have the same precedence and any of them can be chosen to solve first. But if any of these operators are present along with the equal to or not equal to operator, then in that case, these operators will be given a higher precedence or a higher priority. First, these will be solved, and after that, the equal to or not equal to operators will be solved because they have a lower precedence. And in case brackets are present, so again brackets will have the highest priority apart from the operators. So this is true in any case, like whatever operators you are using, brackets will always have the highest precedence. Now that we have understood the precedence of relational operators, let us also solve some of the expressions in order to be more clear. The first expression says a greater than equal to b. So let us write down the values. 2 greater than equal to 5. Now there is just one operator, so no need to consider the precedence here. We will solve it. So 2 greater than equal to 5 will result in false. Now come to the second expression. Second expression uses two operators, the not equal to operator and greater than operator, which belong to different categories. The not equal to operator has a lower precedence than the greater than operator. So first we will solve b greater than a, and after that we will solve the not equal to operator. So let us write down the values. 3 not equal to 4 greater than 2. Now first we will solve 4 greater than 2, which is false. Now we will solve this not equal to, so 3 not equal to false. Now how can we solve this 3 not equal to false? So we use 0 to represent false and we use 1 to represent true. So this is used in competitive programming, in programming, or you can say this is the mathematical representation of true and false. For false we use 0 and for true we use 1. So that is what we are going to do here. Instead of false, we are going to write down 0 because that is the mathematical representation of false. So 3 not equal to 0, that is true. So our final answer here will be true. Now coming to the third expression, we have three operators here, greater than or equal to operator, the equal to operator and the less than operator. So the greater than or equal to and less than operator have a higher precedence and they have the same precedence. So both of these expressions we can solve one by one together or from left hand side to right hand side. That is what we are going to follow. And then we have the equal to operator, which has a lower precedence. So we will solve this after we have solved these two expressions. So let us write down the values. 5 greater than equal to 2 equal 3 less than 4. So we will solve from left to right. First we will solve this expression 5 greater than equal to 2, which is true, equal 3 less than 4, which is also true. So true equal true will result in true, and that will be our answer. Here we have not written the mathematical representation of true because on both the sides we had a similar kind of value, that was the boolean value. So we do not need to write the mathematical representation. So true equal to true will result in true. So I hope that you have understood somehow that how we are going to solve the relational operators, the expressions which use relational operators. Now that we have understood relational operators and we have also understood how to solve them, we are going to see that how we can represent these kinds of expressions in the form of a flowchart. To discuss how to use comparisons in a flowchart, we'll be using the same example that we used in the beginning of the video, that is input a number and display whether it is even or odd. So this is the flowchart that is used to represent this particular question. Now here you can see that we have used a diamond box. Now this box is used to make comparisons. Rest of the other things are exactly the same as we studied in the previous video about flowchart. We are using start and end to mark the starting and ending of the flowchart. Then we are using the input box or the data box to input a number. After taking input, we have to check, we have to compare that whether n is divisible by 2 or not. So for that we are using this boolean expression n modulus 2 equal 0. Now this boolean expression or any kind of conditions that are there, it is always written inside this decision box. This diamond box is also known as decision box. And this decision box has two values. It can either result in true or it can either result in false. As you can see through these arrows, that this arrow represent what will happen if this particular expression results in true, and here this arrow represents what will happen if this particular expression results in false. So if this expression is true, then we need to display even. It is written in a processing box. And if this expression is false, then we need to display odd, which is written in a processing box. And after displaying even or after displaying odd, in both of these scenarios, the question will come to an end. It will mark the end of the instruction cycle. So both of these arrows after this point to this end or this oval shaped box. So this is how we represent decisions or conditions in a flowchart. Now it is time to practice what all you have learned in this video. So for all of these 3 questions, you have to draw a flowchart. It will be simple enough if you have understood relational operators well. The first question says that you have to input 2 numbers and find out the lowest among the 2 numbers. So this question you can very easily do by using the less than operator. The second question says that you need to input a number and check if it is divisible by 3 or not. If it is divisible by 3, then you will print thrice the number, otherwise you will print the number itself, that is n. So you know how to check the divisibility now. So I hope that you will be able to do this question as well. And in question 3, it says that we have to input 2 numbers and check whether they are identical or not. So this also you already know which operator we use. I'm not going to tell you here. You should know on your own and you should be able to identify which operator will be used here. And you have to print identical if it is true or if it is identical, and non-identical if the 2 numbers are not equal to each other. So guys, please try these questions out, and if you have any doubt, then you'll find the answers to these questions in the description box. If you have any doubt or feedback, then please post it in the comment section below.